Hi, it's Friday, early afternoon. I've taken care of a lot of stuff today and picked up some tapas, whatever. It's just Gouda cheese blocks. It's a young cheese, whatever that means for you, and it's Comine, which means I call it Dutch pepper jack. It's not even really pepper, and it's not jack. That's why I call it Dutch. Anyway, it's like the Pennsylvania Dutch are actually not Dutch, they're German. But because people confuse Dutch and Deutsch. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But having a cheese with like stuff in it that's like peppercorns is why I call it. It's like Dutch pepper jack. It's really good cheese, but anyways. So I had a comment a couple days ago from, that's Facebook, Talon the Goat. It was 3 days ago, and then we talked, and then it says 1 day ago. I don't know how many exact hours this is, but it brought up, and I was thinking in general about how to deal with like frustrations with a coach. Because I've had my frustrations with a coach in the past, and so has Willie, and I really wish he was here so we could sort of discuss this. So I'm going to have to put this one out here and say that coaches are human. And by and large, they're volunteers. Or they get paid very little. Sometimes it might just be like compensation for something. I remember at my junior high, the head coach of the football team was also one of the algebra teachers. I'm not saying we were unique for that, but also one of the head coaches for, I believe, the 9th grade team. I had a junior high that was 7, 8, 9. Anyways, and so he was the PE teacher because that's what I didn't realize this because I was a dumb kid. And when I got later, I kind of realized how this stuff would work when I would go back and be a substitute staff assistant. Is that that the offensive coordinator of my high school team was the history teacher, but he ran PE at my junior high, but no history classes, even though he had a master's degree in history. I'm just letting you know how things get. So I don't expect you to go and interview your coaches, but realize that sometimes they're not, so they're human. They have their own with lives, and so they're trying their best. And is this a defense of coaches? Not necessarily. Getting you guys to how to understand that if a coach goes into a game and makes a poor decision, like you're always played. You're always on the field, you're cycled often, you're a starter, whatever. And so this team, and then you don't get put in on this game. Like he said, he wasn't put in. And they wound up losing by 2 points. Which would suck, but it was like 8-6. What did that say? Yeah. Which I just sort of sit here and I'm just like, okay, so how? Like you guys had to have missed, like you got a touchdown or 2 field goals. Like there's not a lot of combinations to do that. Like they could have gotten a touchdown and missed their PAT, and you got a touchdown and they missed it. And I don't really, but yeah, there's not a lot of combinations, but they kind of suck. Now, what does this say about you as a player? Do you suck? Probably not. Maybe the coach overall looked at the other team and said, maybe this is a time to get our lower guys put up so that the next year they'll be that much better rather than sitting on the sideline getting discouraged. he probably accepted it as a loss. Even if, he probably didn't want to lose it. I don't think a coach wants to lose any games, but he realized that if he was going to lose a game, this was probably going to be it. But it would help get the younger guys, the rookier guy, the Greenfoot, whatever, the rookier guys to get more experience on the field, because it helps the team overall when you have a good mix of people that are good. You've got your good players and you got your bad players and you got your mediocre players. So maybe if you can accept a loss against a team that is crappy, it looks bad, but you're also playing your backups. And so that's an explanation for your said situation. Obviously, if you're one of those that's being played a lot and stuff, like we're gonna have some games coming up here pretty soon. I think 2 in November. We were gonna play a German team, but they backed out. But anyways, so that first game, am I gonna be in? Maybe. Depends on how many linebackers we got. I am not necessarily a rookie member, although I didn't really prove myself much because I got injured last year. So maybe I will be put in a lot. We also may not have a lot of linebackers. Like, we got a lot of rookies, but I'm not sure how many rookies are going to be coming back from our, as they say in Germany, probe training. We just call them tryouts. Because the Dutch are like, their first language is Dutch. Their 1B language is English. And their second language is whichever one they decided to take. It was probably German or French. Just letting you guys know. So, am I going to be really disappointed that I'm not playing? Well, first of all, our season doesn't start until like end of February, March. End of February, beginning of March. So the stuff that leads towards the Tulip Bowl isn't going to be affected now. And I'm still coming back from, being off the field and stuff for so long. So I have to get back in, to some shape, make sure that I'm not wincing and not, I'm doing pretty good. But that's the thing. I'm not going to be butthurt if I'm not on the field much, at least at the first game. I'd like to be on the field at all, but that's just how things go. And you can't really take it personally. And it doesn't sound like in your comment that you did. You were just venting. And I understand. That's okay. It's better to vent on like a YouTube comment with like, oh no, click that wrong. I did not mean to. By the way, if you got that notification that I thumbed down your comment, I misclicked. I removed it. Removed it back to a thumbs up. Anyways, he says you're mad, but you can be mad and like, but not have it affect how you deal with stuff. And that's very mature. And thus venting online is a decent way to do it because you can just blow off that little bit of steam. And especially like with here, you got this going forth. And so if you guys want to you had a crappy game coming up, because this weekend, I think I looked at Oregon, we're looking at week 6. The hell was that? Oh, I don't care about that. No, stop. What are you doing? I asked Google there it is. We're on week 5 or 6, something like that for Oregon. Cause I just know that I can look up OSAA, the Oregon School Athletics Association, Scholastic or whatever it's called. And what can we learn from week 5? What can we learn from week 6? And anyways, so yeah, that's what's going on with that. Don't let it discourage you because it was just one game. I've had days in the gym where I just don't lift nearly as much. And does that mean I am a weakling? Nope. Could also mean that I went super hard at practice the day before and I'm trying to do legs the next day. And people are like, dude, I do that all the time. Cool. You're under the age of 20 probably. I'm pushing 40. So things are a little bit more creaky with me. I gotta be a little careful. But anyways, I will catch you guys next week. Again, if you guys want to vent about stuff, go ahead. find one of my football videos, probably a recent one, and just write up a complaint. Don't complain at me, but complain to the ether. It might help get it out, and you get, that way you're not calling up your other teammates and you're venting. To be fair, that is nice. Like Willie and I used to vent with each other all the time, because he was in the games with me and stuff. But sometimes, you don't want to like put it in the little bowl of your friends and get more and more hyped up, because then you guys are going to be angry at your coach. Sometimes you just need to go someplace like the internet and vent it. But yeah, I'm going to go finish my cheese blocks and do some stuff on World of Warcraft. I'll catch you guys over the weekend. Busy day tomorrow, Pokemon, Sunday practice, and stuff. Hopefully we'll get a schedule on when those games are going to be happening.